Good afternoon, everybody. Shaun from Gale, level 19. The word corruption. I was just listening to everyone in the room, and everyone had a different opinion about corruption. But I want to ask you this. Why would someone be corrupt? Has anyone thought about that? Politicians would be corrupt for different reasons, or for money gain, for popularity gain, publicity. Some people would just be corrupt because they've got personal needs. For example, an executive director would decide to sell off someone's share without knowing in order to get full ownership of the company, again, monetary gains. But has anyone concerned about why would they do it? Are they doing it for a particular purpose? Would it be for personal gain? I leave you with this. The concept of every man for himself. Is that something to do with corruption? Or is that something to do with how you lead your life?
I'd like to call on Shaun to give us a general evaluation.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. If I can sum up this meeting today in one word, it would be progress. Because I think every person who took on the role today and anyone who jumped unexpectedly showed improvement from the time I remember when I first joined Toastmasters. For some of you who don't know, come end of February, it would be 2 years since I've actually started doing Toastmasters here and also being in the journey of Toastmaster. And I've seen different rates of progression with people, and I would like to commend all of you, whether you did a role or not, that you've come somewhere and you've done something by being here. So well done. So today's meeting is quite interesting. We are very short in numbers, as you can see. There's about 12 of us. I did a head count, which is, I think, the shortest that we've had by far. We started the meeting with Crystal doing, correct me if I'm wrong, 3 roles: chairperson, Toastmaster, and, sorry, 2 roles. That's the roles. Apologies there, but I think that's a very challenging task to do with, so I would like to give an applause to Crystal for doing a very good job. Because doing 2 roles, ladies and gentlemen, is not an easy thing to do. So really good commendation for that. A couple of key things of improvement is moving around. I think it's good to move around, ladies and gentlemen, but you've got to be very concerned that it does not become a distraction. If I move around a lot like this, it'll be too distracting, and people will be more concerned about your movement more than what you're trying to be direct. So in other words, just practice yourself by looking yourself in the mirror and maybe using the videos that Mark has actually taken as well. And also another thing to worry as a Toastmaster and a chairperson is that since Mark is doing a very good initiative of taking the videos, let everyone know that Mark is taking some videos, and if anyone does not want them to be videoed, let Mark know in advance, so that way everyone is aware of what's going on, because some people are guests and they may not like being recorded. Other than that, a really, really good job. I liked how Crystal was very methodical, very aware of her role. She explained to us what her role was really, really important to do as a Toastmaster and a chairperson, so well done on that. Now, I'm going to go really quickly in the interest of time. So what I'll do is I'll just randomly talk about the different roles today. So I'll talk about Angela with your 2 roles of being the toast, the inspiration person, and the table topics person. Now, Angela, from the first time I met Angela, I was pretty sure she was very, very nervous, when she was up here, she was never confident about public speaking. I think I'm very safe to say that she's improved by leaps and bounds, and it's very, very commendable on her. What I like about Angela is something that I remember talking to her before, and I said to her that she needs to work on her projection, and I think that has come a long way. It's very, very important to project your voice and let everyone hear what you're trying to say, because there's a difference between projecting your voice and there's a difference between talking like this, because it really makes a difference as to what your message is trying to be conveyed to the audience. Now, a couple of key things that we could look into improvement is that with toast and also table topics is that be really short and succinct. Sometimes I feel that it could be summarized a bit more better. Content is not my concern here. It's more about trying to get to the point as to what you need to say. For example, the toast was I think it was a very, very commendable topic, but I think we could have actually shortened the key phrase to the emergency people, maybe into a more, I wouldn't know what would be the right term, but a more short term that we can actually easily remember and go by, because I think that was a bit of a mouthful for a lot of us. I find that personally myself. Other than that, it was very, very good, and that's something that we should look into, that projection, and looking into making sure that the message is being conveyed correctly. Now, word power can corrupt. I'm not sure how to use the word corrupt in my evaluation because it's quite hard, because I don't know how do I use it. But very, very introspective. I think we got a very good feel and good vibe in the room itself. One thing that I felt could have been improved was time. 30 seconds per person. I think a lot of people went over time, and there was not a strict form about time. And I think one thing that we need to work on, as a lot of us as we're going, and myself included, is that we need to be concerned about time, because especially when you do contests, if you go overtime and if you're under time, you get disqualified. And we don't want to see someone be disqualified in a contest, for example. Now, with the evaluators, I'm going to just broadly talk about it. But you can see that this club has a very, very wealthy amount of experience of wonderful evaluators, ranging from Chaudhapa to novice evaluators like Mark. I think this is the first time I'm seeing Mark doing his evaluation, so it's a quite range that we have. So it's a wonderful. Couple of things that I think the evaluators need to work on with the upcoming contests is look into the methodology of commend, recommend, and commend, and take only 1 or 2 points in interest of time. One thing that I felt with, for example, Chaudhapa, it would be good to just have a summary of commend, recommend, commend for everyone instead of going one by one. If anyone wants an individual evaluation they could come up to, it would be best to just give a bit of a summary so that people understand what they can understand, what is the key concept that we understood from the evaluation, and how can we improve moving forward. Mark, for example, was very, very thorough as well. He got up here and he really explained to us very important things. What I liked about Mark was focusing about content, but what Mark can definitely improve on is have a bit more structure in your evaluation. Talk about the good points first, and talk about what things can be improved, and end it off with a very nice point that the speaker did a really good job. That way, the speaker feels enforced, very positive about himself. Then they say, okay, I can improve myself. Then they'll say, okay,